Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're tackling a problem everybody faces, leftover pumpkin. You know, after you've carved your spooky masterpiece or baked that delicious pie, you're stuck with this big old chunk of pumpkin. But fear not, my friends, because I've got 5 incredible recipes that'll transform that leftover pumpkin into culinary gold. We're talking mouth-watering muffins, breads that'll make your taste buds sing, a risotto so creamy you won't believe it's pumpkin, a frittata packed with flavor, and a pumpkin cake that'll have you saying pumpkin spice latte who. Like and subscribe because you're not going to want to miss this. All right, first up, we're hitting you with the classic pumpkin muffins. These bad boys are so moist, so flavorful, and so easy to make, you'll be wondering why you ever threw away leftover pumpkin in the first place. We're talking 1.5 cups of that glorious pumpkin puree, 2 cups of flour. Don't worry, we'll sift it for that fluffy texture. A cup of sugar because we like them sweet but not too sweet, a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil to keep things nice and moist, 2 eggs to bind it all together, and of course the spices. We're going in with a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, and just a 1/4 teaspoon each of nutmeg and cloves. Mix it all up, bake it at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes, and boom! You've got yourself a batch of pumpkin muffins that'll make your taste buds sing. Next up, we're taking pumpkin bread to a whole new level. This ain't your grandma's recipe, folks. We're adding some secret ingredients that'll have you saying, wow. We're starting with the usual suspects. 2 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of sugar, because this bread is going to be sweet. A teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder to give it that perfect rise. A teaspoon of salt to balance out all that sweetness. And of course, our star ingredient, 2 cups of pumpkin puree. Now here's where things get interesting. We're adding a cup of chopped walnuts for some crunch, a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips because chocolate makes everything better, and a teaspoon of orange zest for a bright citrusy kick. Bake it all up at 350 degrees for about an hour, and get ready for the most incredible pumpkin bread you've ever tasted. Chapter 3. Pumpkin Risotto. Fancy and delicious. All right, guys, get ready to be amazed because we're about to make pumpkin risotto. That's right. Pumpkin isn't just for desserts, folks. It can be fancy, too. We're starting with a tablespoon of olive oil in a large saucepan. Sauté 1/2 cup of chopped onion and 2 cloves of minced garlic until they're nice and fragrant. Then we're adding a cup of arborio rice and toasting it for a minute or 2. Now, here comes the fun part. We're deglazing the pan with a 1/2 cup of white wine. Let that cook off for a minute. Then we're adding our pumpkin. A whole cup of pumpkin puree goes in, followed by 4 cups of vegetable broth, a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Simmer it all up until the rice is cooked through and the risotto is creamy and delicious. Chapter 4. Pumpkin and Veggie Frittata. Breakfast of champions. Time for breakfast and we're not messing around. This pumpkin and veggie frittata is packed with protein, flavor, and of course our favorite ingredient, pumpkin. We're starting by preheating the oven to 375 degrees. While that's heating up, we're going to sauté a cup of chopped vegetables in a tablespoon of olive oil. You can use whatever veggies you like, but I'm going with some bell peppers, onions, and spinach. Once the veggies are softened, we're adding 6 eggs that have been whisked together with a 1/4 cup of milk, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Now, for the star of the show, 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree. Gently mix it into the egg mixture, then pour the whole thing into an oven-safe skillet. Top it with a sprinkle of cheese and bake it for about 20 minutes or until the frittata is set. Chapter 5. Pumpkin Cake. You won't believe it's pumpkin. Last, but definitely not least, we're finishing things off with a bang pumpkin cake. This ain't your average pumpkin cake, though. This one is so moist, so flavorful, and so unbelievably delicious you won't even believe it's made with pumpkin. We're starting by creaming together a cup of butter and a 1.5 cups of sugar until it's light and fluffy. Then, we're beating in 4 eggs, one at a time, followed by a teaspoon each of vanilla extract and almond extract. In a separate bowl, we're whisking together 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder, a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, and a 1/4 teaspoon each of nutmeg and cloves. Gradually add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, mixing until just combined. Now, for the secret ingredient, a cup of pumpkin puree. Mix that in. Pour the batter into a greased and floured 9 by 13 inch baking pan and bake it at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. There you have it, guys. 5 incredible recipes that'll transform your leftover pumpkin from boring to boom. Which one are you going to try first? And hey, if you're feeling extra adventurous, why not try making all 5? Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome recipes, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.